I spent over an hour one-on-one with the GOAT Nick Saban when I was getting recruited, but I still didn't pick Alabama. Here's why. Before I get into it, if you want to get recruited to play in college, go check out cfbacademy.com or link in my bio where I have a free resource where I use my experience as a 5-star recruiter and a D1 coach to give you tips and tricks for how to get recruited and get attention from coaches. So I was the top 10 in the country coming out of high school. I went on tons of recruiting trips, but none were quite like Alabama, but I still ended up picking Penn State. By the time I went down to Alabama, meeting Nick Saban was unlike anything I had experienced ever. He's the GOAT of college football. It was a special trip. I was a little bit nervous for this trip, to be honest. Really just hearing Nick Saban talk was kind of surreal. The dude is as advertised though. He's everything you would expect, but I did not pick Alabama for two different reasons. Number one, I was a receiving tight end coming out of high school, and there was one guy in my recruiting class who was often ranked higher than me. His name was O.J. Howard, still plays in the NFL. You guys probably have heard of him. O.J. Howard ended up committing to Alabama. Now, I'm not scared to compete with him, but you got to be smart about where you're going and where you have the best chance to actually see the field. Usually in Alabama system, they use one tight end. He gets the majority of the reps, so I might not have played that much, or it would have been a 50-50 shot, where I knew at other schools, multiple tight ends play more. That next year, I went to Penn State, OJ went to Bama, and we both ended up being freshman All-Americans, so I'd say it worked out. Then the second reason I didn't pick Alabama was, on top of everything, I love Bama, I love Saban, but it wasn't Penn State. Penn State for me was my hometown school, where I belong. In my heart, even during that Alabama trip, that my heart was with Penn State. I love Penn State football, and at the end of the day, I didn't pick Alabama because it just wasn't Penn State. It wasn't the right fit for me. Let me know in the comments what school you guys would have picked if you were me.